Good afternoon and hello everybody. This is SurionMakes and I'm back today with you with another tutorial video. This time I'm bringing you Fallout 76 and a build video at that. So, playing this game a little while, I've come across this build that I like very much. I haven't really seen anybody cover it, but I've just kind of come up with it over my own, just playing as Bloodied and a couple of other builds. I find that full health is a little bit more my speed. This build makes you almost invincible, and I mean that, like almost invincible. You could use almost any weapon you want and kind of set up the weapon parameters how you want. But in a little while, I'll show you exactly what I mean by invincible. The only thing that this build is weak to is poison and fire, given the latest update, and Fallout fire is very strong. However, that doesn't mean it will kill you if you're paying attention, and that goes for poison as well. You could always choose to wear the Strangler's Heart. However, I chose to wear the T65 for the most bullet and energy damage resistance possible. Now, however, you could choose to use whatever power armor you want to. However, I'm going to come over here to the build menu, and I'm going to take a look at this. So inside here, I'm going to look at how many points I have. So I have 12 in strength, 4 in perception, 11 in endurance, 6, 7, 7, and 9 in luck. And we'll get into why. And we also have, just for the benefit of it, the legendary cards, luck, endurance, strength, and then electrical absorption for your power armor. And I'll get into why we have these as our legendaries in a minute. Okay, and so now it will require you to be a high level in-game build in order to get most of these cards, so well over 50, in order to at least start it. So now I have chosen to do melee. Melee for me seems to be pretty strong. It doesn't involve a lot. I don't have to use ammo or reconstruct weapons a lot. So let me just get into why I chose to do this. So the base cards that you're going to need are Traveling Pharmacy, Sturdy Frame, um, Refractor for your energy resistance. You're going to want the plus 40, Lifesaver for plus 40, Fireproof, Nocturnal for 40% health at night, photosynthesis, so that way you get the benefits during the day, and sun-kissed as well, so the radiation goes the radiation goes away. Um, Basically, you're just looking for cards that are going to give you the most benefit out of health, right? So Field Surgeon, Team Medic, and then we're going to go into the DPS cards in a second. However you choose to set those up is on you. You're going to want First Aid. You're going to want Portable Power for your power armor. It's recommended that you get this all the way upgraded, just so that way the weight of your power armor goes down, and then you got your power armor breaks less. Definitely going to want your dodgy. Again, this is a health card. This is going to keep damage away from you. Your Born Survivor, just in case you get down to the low level of health. You're going to want something that just checks it. Unless your armor does it for you, this card may not be necessary. And then again, Action Boy. Action Boy's good, especially since you're in power armor, but again, it really just depends on what you're running as a weapon. And luck is very important. You're going to want your Class Freak, Starch Jeans, and Ricochet. Lucky Break is also a really good one, and I'll get into that because repairing your items in this game can sometimes be very expensive, and power armor could be one of those things. It especially can be tedious, if not anything else. So I don't like to do that. I like my power armor to be repaired every time an enemy shoots me, or the potential for that. So that's pretty good. So again, I chose melee. Now you could use whatever melee or whatever weapon style you choose, and you can, let me come back to here, you could bounce these cards around. So I have Expert, Slugger, Blocker. You're definitely going to want Blocker. Again, this is a health card, 3. So essentially you're going to want at least 8 in strength. Just depending on 8 or 9, depending on what weapon you're using. Strong back to get you that 10% carry weight. I mean, carry weight is always beneficial. And then so now that we've looked at the cards, let's look at these stats. So if I come over to the stats, you can see that I have an HP of 435. You could also see my damage resistance. My energy resistance and my radiation resistance. It's all extremely high. An 852, 797, and 530. That is extremely high. And then so whenever you eat, you'll get the most benefits out of that. And then we will also take a look at the mutations that I am running. As soon as I could find that. Status. Okay. So you're going to want carnivore or herbivore depending on what you prefer. Electrically charged, so that way when enemies hit you, you physically have the ability to shock them. Marsupial, so that way you get the jump height and the carry weight out of the power armor. Plague Walker, Scaly Skin, Speed Demon, and Unstoppable Isotope. And the reason why we want these melee affecting cards is, at least for me, because I know that I'm going to get hit a lot. And so if I come over to any kind of facility, and let's see, let's get one with a lot of enemies in it. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just hope that there's enemies here. If not, I could always go to a location that I know that there will be enemies. Here we go. a whole gaggle of enemies. Alright, so let's make them a little mad. And then we will just stand here and hang out. I don't even need a weapon. I'll just let them beat on me for a while. And I could show you just how unstoppable this build really is. I call it the rhinoceros build, especially with the chainsaw that I have. Makes my guy kind of feel like a rhino. So with Tenderizer, with martial arts, with the two-handed weapon thing, I'm getting a decent amount of DPS. So even though I am mostly a health build, I could stand here and kill most of these enemies in about 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds or so. So a 2 to 4 second range, depending on the enemy as well. And then you've noticed I haven't had to use a single stim pack, or even really had to bother with my health. And then so we'll go back after we kill this little group of enemies, and I will show you why I use the T65 and what you could use on it instead. And again, you can choose to set up whatever power armor you want. Just know that you probably will get slightly less damage resistance out of it. Now you might want to know, how do you get the T65? Well, in case you don't know, you could always watch the full tutorial videos on YouTube. There's some wonderful people that break it down really well. You're going to need gold bullion, and you're going to need to complete the Wastelanders quest line in Fallout 76. And by doing so, and no spoilers, you will unlock the ability to shop at a certain vendor, which will allow you to buy this armor. Now, this armor is very expensive. It requires an in-game currency of gold bullion, and I want to say the total amount is somewhere in the 5,000 to 8,000 gold bullion range, so be prepared for that. It is extremely expensive. Now, I am only level 180 in this playthrough, and I have a full set of T65 with everything I need. So it's definitely doable if you play the game frequently enough. And I want to say that I got this set somewhere around level 115. It just depends on how much you care about doing the story quests compared to the events or other in-game things that you can do. So now that we have explored here for a little bit, let's drop off some items or get out of our armor. And then take some items that will boost our carry weight just so we can get out of here for the moment. Oh, not negative strength. That is not what I wanted to do. Alright, well, let's just get rid of some junk then, will we? Oh, it's a lot of ammo that's weighing us down. Okay, that's okay. Apologies. Let's get this out of here. Alright, now continuing on with the video, we're going to head back over to our house and then show you some of the armor selections. And I do have a couple of different power armors that I can show you or provide different status effects with. And that was just a short demo on the T65 setup and the way that it is. It is very useful against event bosses, daily ops, anything you could think of. The reason why I thought of this build in the first place was because, as you see on my team in the bottom left, a lot of people choose to play this game with bloodied. Bloodied gives you the ability to maximize your damage output by having more damage sustained to you. So think of yourself as a glass cannon. Now, a lot of glass cannons die pretty easily, especially if they get hit by any kind of poison, fire, any kind of explosion effect. And it's not even intentional. A lot of times it just happens and they die. So as a teammate or as an ally, it is a really good strategy to have a full health build. Now, I don't recommend it for everybody, but I do recommend it for those that are looking to play the game in a fashion that gives them a different perspective. So let's go over here and take a look at a T65. So now on it, I do run Nocturnal, Regenerating, and then, you could kind of bounce around Auto Stim as well, Aristocrats. So, like, I'm trying to roll them to get a complete set. I don't exactly have that at the moment. But you could run whatever you want. 40% damage resistance at night is really good. It's night 50% of the time. So that's a win in my book. You're still getting a lot of damage resistance out of that. And I will try to show you the difference between damage resistance at night and during the day. So let's go ahead and take some other power armor, like our Hellcat power armor, because that is a very used and common power armor. And let's get in that. Alright, we'll come over to status. And you can see down at the bottom, I am still getting some pretty high numbers, 600, 500, and 380. Now, it's still not as good as the T65, but it's extremely viable. Now, let's say that you are a newer player and you could only get your hands on some of the cards and like the X01 power armor. I'll come over here and show you some of the status effects and even show you that this build is extremely viable in power armor that is just everyday or different. So we will take the X01 and we will get inside of it. And then coming over to my pit boy, I will show you that we are still getting some really nice numbers. Look at that. And that's just a normal power armor that you could get. You could do 260, T51 is a really good one. And then again, I'm just going to let you look over some of these cards that I have as a melee build. Refractor is definitely a card you're going to want. Everything in endurance. Charisma as well. Intelligence, agility, and luck as well. Okay, so now let me just demonstrate one more time that if I were to come over to a location like this, oh, okay, I'm way overweight. Let me drop some of these off. Alrighty, and then I will do the same for the T65. Get out of my armor, and then travel just for one more demonstration. But if you're still with me at this point of the video, I hope that this was useful. I hope that this build gave you something to think about. And in the meantime, if you haven't tried melees or other kinds of options, then you should. The reason why I chose it is because you don't really have to focus on crafting ammo or getting ammo. And I know that most Fallout First subscriptions, they have the unlimited ammo box, so they don't really have to worry about it anyway. But it's just the lazy man's option, right? You don't have to worry about crafting your armor. You don't have to worry about repairing it. The only thing that you have to worry about ever is repairing the weapon that's in your hand. And, you know, give or take, if you use different weapons, you could replace those cards in strength. You could replace those cards, you know, and get some DPS damage, you know, out of it. So it's really up to you. It seems like the enemies didn't respawn, but I'm hoping to find some. I probably should not have killed all of them. And if not anything, I should probably go inside. Alright, perfect. So Super Mutant, I'm going to use you as our example here. And I'm just going to stand here and eat it. So you can see the dodgy going to work in the bottom right, just eating up that AP of ours, right? So now we're not going to be able to move, and this is why I call myself the rhinoceros, because I'm going to slow walk at you. Right, I'm going to get you. And I wish I had some footage of PvP, but this is a perfect example. Let's say that this guy was somebody in PvP just lighting me up, right? I could spam my stims, I could drink my Nuka-Cola, I could get that health as high as I could possibly get it, and then I pull out my weapon, and then as soon as I get up on him, I can kill him. And so you can see it's still viable. So now I am the rhinoceros. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to eat up most of this damage. Now let's run away and let's go check out something like the nuclear zone, right? Now even though this power armor isn't as strong, I could still show you how strong it can be with this build. Let's run away and make sure that we're not being messed with by any more super mutants. Alright, and then, now that we are here, let's get out of our armor. Oh, okay, never mind, we do not want to get out of our armor here. Now, every time an event ends and I've picked up all of the resources that I want to pick up, a lot of the times I do have to get out of the armor just like that. Now, it does help if you use something like traditional armor with deep pocketed, because you could get the 10% carry weight from each limb, and that does improve your carry weight significantly. So that way, anytime you get out of power armor, you have the extra carry weight to move the supplies that you need to move um, whenever you are hauling stuff. And I just say that from somebody who does a lot of events often. I carry a lot of junk and a lot of ammo and a lot of different supplies, so being in power armor all the time just isn't exactly viable. Now, getting out and in of power armor you might think is really annoying, or it might be a bothersome thing for you, but in reality it's really not that big of a deal. So you'll see, like, I'm doing just my everyday thing. I'm just coming down here, and I'll show you just as a normal person without power armor how strong I could be against something even as powerful as lasers, right? I mean, it will do a lot of damage against me. I don't have Secret Service armor on, nothing fancy, but, you know, you could see as a full health build, it's viable. And so, you know, I took a significant amount of damage there, right? But I still survived it. And you can see this guy is burning me with a flamethrower, and I'm actively getting into my power armor. Spamming some stems real quick, and then I'm just going to let him sit there and chew on me. Absolutely nothing. So now that I'm in my power armor, I'm going to come back in here, I'm going to let this turret just have fun with me. And you have so much health, endurance, and power that you collect stim packs like crazy. This is why we want traveling pharmacy. Traveling pharmacy is extremely important because it gives us the ability to heal ourselves anytime that we're in danger. See, I'm constantly losing health, but I'm healing it. And even here, whenever I feel like I'm getting in danger, I could start attacking, use a stim pack. You could do the same thing if you were in PvP. Anytime I needed to back away, I could do so. And again, with T65, this would be a lot more powerful. I just want to show the viability of it with something that's more common, right? These cards are extremely useful. Again, something like this is going to break. I'm going to get repair kits all the time just by playing events, by playing the game the way I'm supposed to. So the only thing I ever need to worry about is my weapon. To me, that's worth it. I have tons of them in storage. They don't weigh anything. And a normal robot like this can have fun with me all day long, and he's not going to do anything. Explosions, radiation, nothing. None of it bothers me. So I hope in today's tutorial slash video slash build that you found something useful that you could take away from it. And I know it's been a while since I posted, but I appreciate you hanging out with me all the way till the end of the video. I know it's a little bit all over the place, but it is a fantastic build. And if you are a Fallout subscriber or a Fallout lover, then I hope this build helps you.